That's just going to end badly later for everyone. So we've heard a lot this evening about the value of arts and culture. And I want you to take a moment to think about how you learn about past civilizations. Often we learn through their arts and culture, the objects and the artefacts that speak to the people and the values of the time, which makes me wonder, why aren't we better documenting art and culture from Australia's growth regions, namely Western Sydney? I am a writer from Southwest Sydney, and I can't tell you enough how frustrated I am by the lack of visibility and awareness for the creative communities that live here and call it home every day. There's incredible work being made across this region and in Parramatta, and no one is talking about it. This is a problem. Art is the business of ideas and storytelling. It connects us to our shared humanity. It is fundamental to our well-being, and it builds stronger communities. So what are we going to do about it? I co-founded State of the Arts Media earlier this year. It's the only digital platform that is dedicated to raising awareness about these diverse communities across Western Sydney and regional New South Wales. We publish content that gives visibility to the diverse practices, be it any art form by any individual of any age or ability. We have local writers produce this content so that everything we write and publish captures the significance and nuance of a local voice. And it also balances the conversation. We get to tell our own stories. Together, we are writing ourselves into history. And this is important because historically, Western Sydney has been invisible and therefore underfunded when it comes to arts and culture. Just last night, I jumped onto Google and I Googled Western Sydney art and culture. And do you know what I got? I got 3 pages of government reports, of media coverage of those government reports, and then I got Western Sydney University. It wasn't until I got to page 3, search term 34, that I got an arts and cultural event. Why isn't Western Sydney on the map, given our rich cultural legacy that exists in this region? In 2015, Deloitte released a report that showed that despite Western Sydney housing 10% of Australia's population and growing, we only receive 1% of the federal arts and culture budget and 5.5% of the state budget. The state budget numbers have been addressed, and we're now a priority area for Create New South Wales. But the public record hasn't changed, and my Google search last night proves that. Parramatta is evolving as a cultural hub, and SOTA Media, State of the Arts Media, sometimes we call it SOTA, is looking to commission a series of articles that is going to cover the summer festival season and beyond, specific to arts and culture in Parramatta, from independent events through to major productions put on here at Riverside Theatre. We know what politicians think about the move of the Powerhouse Museum. We know what Eastern Siders think of the move of the Powerhouse Museum. But can anyone tell me what a local thinks about the move of the Powerhouse Museum? Has anyone asked them how it's going to impact their well-being, how it's going to impact their access to science and arts education and the history of our nation? Western Sydney needs independent media because we don't want you to miss out on all the amazing events happening on your doorstep, but no one is telling you about them. These are amazing stories, amazing experiences that you should get to experience as well. This morning, I got a message from a university student, and I can't tell you how much joy it filled me with. She found State of the Arts Media in an article that we wrote earlier this year about a production about migrants and refugees and their experiences in Australia. She was really excited because ours was the only article she could find to reference in her paper to back up the argument that she was putting forward. I didn't have time to dig into the excitement of what that was because I was very overwhelmed to get a message like that this morning. but to know that this content has a life. So our ask this evening is that culture is everywhere, and you can help us put Western Sydney on the map. When you walk down the street, you are participating in culture. It isn't just what you see in a museum and a gallery. But we know at State of the Arts Media that innovation doesn't happen in isolation. So please send your tokens our way this evening and help us commission these articles. Contribute to our crowdfunding campaign and share on social media with #CultureIsEverywhere. Because Soda Media isn't the platform just for today's users, it's the living archive for future generations.
Great job.